And we're here with round one. We have Gareth Canterbury against Gavin Berger, Black White Tokens against Temur Scapeshift.
Looks like Gareth took a mulligan and Gavin's keeping.
I think this is one of those matches where big mana deck favored against the more mid-range style tokens deck. And with Gareth mulliganing again, I don't think it's going to be a pleasant first game.
Gavin looks like he has a pretty good hand. Has his Serum Visions, a Cryptic Command, 2 lands, and I believe a Remand.
And unlike the green red Scapeshift deck or Titan Shift, this deck is focused more down controlling your opponent until you can resolve a Scapeshift.
I mean, Gavin even has a board wipe in his main, which could be a big problem for the tokens deck.
I think just in general, the fact that he relies on killing his opponent off lands means Gareth is gonna have a lot of work to do to try and disrupt him as much as possible.
Looks like Gareth has a lot of lands. But I mean, you have to keep it 5 now.
Yeah, I don't think you can go lower. At least you can cast spells you draw later on. It might be possible to even attempt to maybe just suss out what Gavin's on. Although at this point, actually not easy to tell what Gavin's on just looking at his starting play. Jokes, there's a search for Tomato.
It looks like Gareth's first play can only be Lingering Soul at the moment, which I think is going to be far too slow for this matchup.
Yep. And Gavin going to have 4 lands on turn 3 at the least. Search for Tomato, 1 mana, suspend 2, put a basic land from your deck into the battlefield.
So turn 3 you basically have Cryptic up already.
Yep.
I mean, I'd even come back.
Also, it looks like Gavin was on the play, so Gareth's Lingering Soul's probably not even going to dissolve the first time round.
Another Farseek.
So, yep. Second search comes down. Gavin also has Serum Visions in hand. Setting up his draws. I think one of the advantages of playing blue in your Scapeshift deck is it gives you access to smoothing out your draws through Serum Visions and other filtering. Gavin saw 2 lands of the scry.
So why not just play this version of Valakut instead of the green red?
The green red one is more consistent at actually comboing off.
Okay.
And generally combos a bit faster. Whereas the Temur version, as we see here, is very good at setting up draws, so dirtling out a bit, but has a bit more of a reliable mid game because you get to stop your opponent's threats and interact with them. And here, Gather resolves Bitter Blossom, which is actually one of the few ways you can put pressure on Gavin without really damaging himself too much in terms of card advantage and disadvantage.
But I mean, you're losing life against a deck that's gonna bolt you for 3 every time you play a land.
The magic number is 18 on Gavin's side of the field.
So 2 fairies basically.
The thing is though, Gareth needs Bitter Blossom here because he can't pressure Gavin at all.
Yeah. I mean, next turn you'll get a fairy, you get 2 spirits. Start going from there. It's got a Shambling Event also. I mean, it's reasonable.
What could be really bad for Gareth though is if Gavin decides he's going to counter the Lingering Souls and then bounce the Bitter Blossom.
Oof.
And yeah, Gavin deciding whether or not he wants to shock, I believe, to hold up that Cryptic Command. Actually no, he has double island, so probably deciding which land to play.
I think you might be considering playing the Valakut that.
And at this point,
But what
the
else
jig
does
is
he have in
already
hand?
up. I think I saw steam vents. Steam vents, I believe, and cryptic command. I'm not sure about the last card. And Gareth going down 1 to 19. Yep.
17.
Shocking himself. And Gavin, I believe, is more than likely going to demon this Lingering Souls. Oh, sorry, Spectral Procession. A bit better than Lingering Souls there, as it gives 3 bodies. Overall, Lingering Souls is the more intensive card in terms of giving tokens, but Spectral Procession has a better rate on the first go.
So the position is 3 spirits, right?
Yeah, 3. Either 3 white or black, or 6 mana generic. And yeah, Gavin is set up to basically Scapeshift in 2 turns if you can find it.
I mean, Gavin has all the time in the world now. He has cryptic up. He just pass the turn. And no pressure, basically.
The problem with these Scapeshift decks though, especially the Temur one, as opposed to the red-green one. The red-green one basically goldfishes itself, so it'll always get enough mountains. Whereas the Temur one's more reliant on actually getting a Scapeshift to a Titan before it can actually start pressuring its opponent. And yeah, Gavin playing Mountain and Sakura Tribe Elder. Unfortunately, the Tribe Elder is not going to do much in terms of blocking, as Gareth has a lot of flyers.
But I mean, he's close to getting that 3 damage per land. Comes another one.
I mean, yeah, if Gavin top takes Escape Shift, he just wins on
Wistful
the
Abbey
spot.
could be a good card in this matchup.
Wistful Abbey is a pretty strong card. The problem is though, as opposed to the normal red-green Escape Shift where they would have no real way of dealing with it, Gavin
Plus
can
cryptic,
bounce.
back to your hand.
And yeah,
Gavin says no.
Spectral Possession, it's going
Do
to
you draw
get
and bounce?
counted. I
Counter
think you
and draw?
counter draw.
I think I'd counter draw, yeah.
And that is exactly what Gavin's doing, I believe.
He's
Still
thinking
in the
about that as
tank,
well.
maybe he wants to bounce the Bitter Blossom, put less pressure on himself.
It's bouncing the token.
And yeah, we see bouncing the token, basically killing the token, reducing the clock.
Means Gavin needs to find some kind of win con, yeah. Because he's basically just playing one for ones at the moment.
I see what Gavin's doing here. He's actually going to attempt to race a bit because eventually he'll get enough mountains to trigger Valakut and then he'll just win from that. However, if he lets Gareth build up too much of a board, Gareth will be able to pressure him.
What does Gareth have still? Wistful Abbey.
I think Westfall Abbey, Lingering Souls, and a
Path
land
is,
or a path. Well,
Base card.
path isn't even hitting the Sacred Tribe Elder.
Oh no, I might as well let it eat. Same thing, isn't it?
The difference is the satisfaction of letting your opponent know that
Sacrifice
path.
response.
I mean, if you're that far ahead, I suppose you could let them exile your creature.
2 lingering souls. This could put a lot of pressure on.
I think the real thing here is Westfall Abbey will become a threat a lot faster than Gavin can probably handle it. He really needs something off the top to either pressure his opponent to start killing his opponent's creatures.
What looks like Gareth's coming back really nicely, actually.
I think Gavin just throwing air here instead of anything that impacts the board.
Yeah, the second Lightning Souls is not going to resolve. I don't think he can afford to.
Not too sure what Gavin has in hand though.
Oh, he did resolve.
So yeah, the flashback Lingering Souls is resolving here.
That's a lot of damage.
If Gareth finds Scapeshift with the top, he should win on the spot. Deciding whether or not he wants to sack his Sakura Tribe Elder before he draws, going with the sack here. Going up to I believe 5 mountains, so any further mountain deals 3 damage.
I suppose that's another drawback of this Temur. You have to play basic islands, breeding pools. Doesn't turn your Valakut on as easily.
Yes, it is possible to miss in this version as opposed to the normal version where it's highly unlikely you ever miss with the Scapeshift. You always have to be mindful of how many mountains you have in play, regardless of which version you're
How many
playing.
mountains do you have at the moment? There's 1, 2,
I think he has 5.
5. So the next one will turn it on, and then from the onwards it will do 3 damage. Yeah, we really need some action here. And that's the action he needs.
So yep, draw was very good one.
So what do you fetch here? Just
Since he has 5 mountains, he can fetch Valakut plus mountain, which triggers a double trigger for Valakut dealing 6 damage. It's the same as fetching 2 mountains.
that part is really good now. Oh no, wait, you're still gonna get another mountain.
The thing is, if you part it in this once, you will get another mountain.
Yeah.
Unless it's worth the trigger on the stack.
So that will do 9 damage, right? No, 12.
If he parts it with the trigger on the stack, it'll deal 9 damage. If he parts it after the trigger resolves, it will deal 12 damage. Which is almost lethal at this point. Actually, it is lethal because the Bitter Blossom is not a May, you will definitely take 1 point of damage. And that's an unfortunate, that's very unfortunate for Gareth. And Gavin fetching.
Okay, that's 3.
Fetching mountain. Sure. Maybe I'm miscounted the mountains. It's possible. Maybe he needed to fetch 2 mountains this turn.
He killed 2 tokens. I feel like going with the face is probably the player.
I think he was being conservative here, just in case.
2015 knives, that's fairly high. And it does lower the clock to 4 turns instead of 3.
I think it's still a 3-turn clock here. Actually, no, it's still a 4-turn clock. Yeah, Gareth will have to attack first and then path.
Did he fetch another value? Just 2 mountains.
Just 2 mountains. He only had 4, I believe. Put an issue with some of the glare on the cards. I think it was basic forest, breeding pool, and 4 mountains. I think Gareth has to path the Titan here.
I mean, I think you just wake up the champion event in there.
Yeah, you're not doing anything else. I suppose he could make more tokens, however he's in danger of dying.
If your opponents played Cryptic Command earlier, I mean, that's fair to assume they have it, or they have a Snapcaster Mage. So playing with Slab is with 2 records, I think.
And he can't flip Westpaw at the moment anyway because he's short on land.
Sure.
Issue here is...
I mean, you get him for 7. Next turn you get another Spirit, another Fairy, you get 8 damage, it's lethal.
Ooh. I think Gavin did not fetch basic mountain here.
Did he not?
He fetched basic forest.
Maybe he's leaving for the Scapeshift? All in one go?
I think that implies the second basic mountain is in his hand.
Yeah, you got him with the shambling events.
And he draws.
It needs to be good.
Not too sure what it was. We'll have a look, see if he reveals another land. Deal 3 damage.
Do you just cryptic tap here? Buy yourself a turn.
I think it's a tap draw, if anything. Gareth is steadily losing life every turn. Actually, I believe he's on 11 this turn because he took 1 last turn and 1 this turn. Gavin just saying, hold on. I have responses. Fetch a mountain. Kill the shambling vent.
Sure.
Believe dealing 4.
Okay, so he's on 3 life now.
So he's getting 5 and he took 5 last turn as well, so he should be down 6. Well, took 4 last turn. Should be down to 6.
I mean, you have another turn now with cryptic up. That's good, God.
One, two, three, 4. Sure. He's actually on 10. That was the same turn. Cryptic him on tap down. Unfortunately for Gareth here, that Westfeld looking less likely to
happen.
actually resolve this one.
I mean, let's help the spirit though. I think Gavin has Scapeshift in that. I think you drew it last turn.
This is game.
Yeah,
I don't see it anywhere else. Sorry, updates on the life total. It was 2 LS.
There's a pulse for safety.
Doesn't even need it at this point as long as he doesn't mess up the amount of lands he needs to fetch. It should just be a Valakut. Sack all his non-mountains, fetch a Valakut. And that's game 1. Predictable ending, however, Gareth did make a game of it considering he
was
multiplied.
very close.
Yeah.
Was very close.
I do think Gavin was throwing air there, but we'll see how game 2 goes. While players are sideboarding, we can actually have a look at the deck lists.
It's not looking good for Gareth with three Anger of the Gods in the sideboard.
Yeah, it's pretty bad in terms of removal.
I mean, to even being in the kitchen finks, I mean, you can't really block anything, everything's in the air.
I think you bring in Kitchen Finks and Dragcast just to gain some life.
Sure.
I don't think it's necessary in this match.
Swan Song is 1 mana.
Counter target instant, artifact, or enchantment. They get a 2/2 bird.
Okay, sure. So not that great in this matchup. Everything's about, I think, sorcery.
Basically, well, it can counter sorceries as well, actually.
It's not bad then.
It's fine. The problem is it doesn't counter any of his opponent's planeswalkers, which is the real issue here. I think for this match, Gavin, I don't think he really wants to have Lightning Bolt here.
Yeah.
I know it's good at dealing that extra point of damage to make sure your opponent goes under 18.
Yeah.
But his opponent's probably going to do that anyway because of the land-based situation.
Kiranas God of Storm?
Kiranas, I believe, is a bit too slow. I know it's a grindy match, but his opponent's going very wide very quickly. I think his main plan of attack is just comboing out through Valakut, and that should be strong enough. His opponent,
Gareth, what is... Yes, surgical extraction.
unfortunately, surgical means nothing here because he has no ways to actually destroy lands.
Yeah. I mean, what else do you have? You have Source of Spyglass, which doesn't really do anything. Stops a good tribal.
Gareth actually doesn't have anything
Um,
in his sideboard in terms of
so many silence. Yeah, pretty much.
bringing in a board wipe against his opponent that definitely doesn't go wide. Not exactly ideal. Rest in Peace doesn't help either because I don't think he's seen Snapcast in his opponent's deck yet. You
I
can
think
assume it's
just-
there, but even then, bringing in Rest in Peace just to stop Snapcaster when your opponent wins by
I think you just run
basically
it back
playing lands.
straight. Like, there's not really much you can change here.
I think Gareth came to fight a more fair fight, and the Scapeshift deck not fair.
Sudden growth, what does it do?
Destroy target enchantment or artifact populate, which means you get to copy a token.
Okay, sure.
Note it's any token, so he gets to choose whichever token he wants. It's relevant because Gideon makes 2/2s, Soiden makes a 2/2 flying.
I think against most other decks, the sideboard of Gareth would be really good. This feels like a really bad matchup.
Yeah, I think in general, these slower mid-range decks, black-white tokens, green-black base decks like Abzan, even to a lesser extent, the Death Shadow decks are very soft to the Scapeshift deck in general. If you have no way to really counter Scapeshift itself or strip it from his hand, hopefully,
I think you need probably what, like a few thought seizes just to disrupt him in the early stages.
I think even with the disruption, it's very hard to really deal with a deck that needs lands to kill you.
I mean, you can't just let him go off though. I mean,
Yeah.
Gavin was on 4 lands turn 3, and then he played another search.
The problem is though, Gareth literally has no Inquisitions, no Lily of the Veil, no Thoughtseize,
It's gonna be tough.
no ways to destroy a land and surgical it.
Oh, I didn't see he had Vault of the Archangel. That could be very relevant here.
The gaining life is relevant to an extent, however it does cost 4 mana and itself, so it's only a turn 5 play at earliest. Sword and Solemn Visitor is probably his best hope at staying alive.
He didn't stockpile. Wouldn't Legion's Landing just be a bit better in a deck like this? Getting stockpile feels slightly slow.
I think he's trying something. The problem with Legion's Landing is it is an extremely slow effect, whereas Hidden Stockpile is a bit faster.
I mean, you're still getting a 1/1 server that then it comes in as opposed to a 1/1 vampire. And did he have no lands in his hand now?
Yes, I think it was just Audio Champion, and see
That's
the rest
tempting.
of it. It's as tempting as it is. Audio Champion itself doesn't save itself from Valakut. It's a
Yeah.
colorless source.
I learned that the hard way.
Oh, H Champion.
Yeah.
Seems good. Both players mulliganing the opening hand here. We'll have a look at their hands when they get back. I'm still inclined to believe Gavin's favored to win this 2-0 here.
I think it's both sideboard definitely.
It's just unfortunate that Gareth doesn't really have any answers to the deck he's playing against here.
Is it the one of Selfless Spirit that he has?
Even then,
I mean,
like,
it's just you need something, man. Just dodging 4 side Anger of the Gods is a bit tough.
so yes, the one of Selfless Spirit can save you from an Anger of the Gods. But the real issue here is Gareth can't kill Gavin fast enough.
Yeah. Yeah, Bitter Blossom. Ah, that's unlucky.
He has to hope he has another 5-card hand like his first game, and that Gavin doesn't throw a Scapeshift off the top.
Gavin sees 2 Sakura Tribe Elders, Assaulting Suns. Was like a Valakut and a Scalding Tarn? I think that's a keep.
It's definitely a keep. He has 2 Dam spells and a removal spell, and he's scrying a land to the top of his deck on the draw.
Gareth is gonna need An amazing 5 now.
2 lands, double Bitter Blossom. Anything
good.
else?
Double Bitter Blossom though.
As painful as it sounds, he needs something to get him that far into this game.
Let's see.
Maybe
There's
2
the
lands, double Bitter Blossom and a sword. And it does not look like he got that far. Looks like an intangible virtue on one side. He is keeping it. On the play Shambling Vents tapped. Opponent does the same, plays Assembly Glade. Gareth plays Intangible Virtue. Now all his future tokens will get +1/+1 in Vigilance.
But he has no threats in his hand at the moment, huh?
Audio Champion unfortunately doesn't get the bonus from Intangible Virtue. Gavin going down to 18 here, playing Sacred Tribalder. And here we are seeing Audio Champion.
Takes him from red. Gain 1 life every time, eh?
Creature enters the battlefield. Note it's creature from either player.
Sure.
Can be somewhat relevant.
I mean, you play Spectre to gain 3 life, that's 1 value could trigger away.
And I think Gavin just gonna play another Sacred Tribalder. No real reason to. And yeah, attacking for 1. His opponent's creature is, I believe, a 1/1. And plays the second Sacred Tribalder. And his opponent plays a second Audio Champion. So goes up to 21.
Gavin deciding if he wants to sacrifice one of these.
Deciding not to sack either. Probably going to make attacks into his opponent. Has a lot of lands in hand.
So Sweltering Suns is not that great at the moment.
Yeah, it actually doesn't kill either of Gareth's threats. The issue is here, Gareth can't afford to block because each of these represents 2 points of life for each creature that gets played here. We might even see Gavin cycle the Sweltering Sands.
I think you still keep it though. Like, I understand it's not great at the moment, but it's one of your best cards in the matchup.
I think it's all going to depend on what Gavin is trying to draw into. Gavin deciding whether or not he wants to snapcast the Spectral Procession.
Gain 6. That's actually looking very good for Gareth, considering the season mall to
5 again.
5.
Going up to 25. Gavin deciding he's going to sack both Sacred Tribalders. Probably fetching 2 mountains. Unfortunately, no Valakut on the field.
Just thinning his deck out, I guess.
If he draws a Titan here,
I mean, he's probably just gonna swallow in his hands, yeah. Yes, but it's still a lot of damage.
I think he can afford to take an additional turn off here.
That's 8 damage though on board with the Intangible Virtue on the field.
Sure.
That seems like a lot.
It's actually half his life total.
Yeah.
So
I think he needs to, yeah.
at some point I did see a snapcast in hand, so he can't actually Sweltering Suns a second time. I believe that's why he made the decision to fetch 2 lands here.
How many snapcasts does he have? 2.
I believe it's just the 2. Yes, just the 2 in the main board. And Gavin flooding out here.
He needs to bite the bullet here. Yeah.
I actually think when Gareth made that attack earlier, Gavin actually had to flash in a Snapcaster Mage and block one of them.
The thing is, man, you're playing against a token stake, you have Sweltering Suns in hand. You're like, I essentially have 2 Sweltering Suns in my hand.
The problem is though, his opponent's creatures don't die to Sweltering Sands and
That's only
gains him life
two-
whenever creatures enter the battlefield. He would have.
I mean, now it's just 2 damage per turn, man. This is. You can work your way through this. And
It's
there's
not so much the 2 damage that's an issue, it's the gaining life
Oh, sure.
when he needs to deal an exact amount.
Oh, no, fair enough.
Now it's looking less likely that he's going to win via Scapeshift as opposed to multiple Valakuts on the field and then Titan.
I think he has Bolt and.
And Gareth
Snapping
did
Up.
side in Surgical Extraction here. Don't think it was.
I mean, if you have no way of destroying the Valakut.
I think it's a fine card. I just don't think it was the best draw at the situation.
Especially if you only removals path to exile, so I mean, you can't really even hit the Primeval Titan. Is a charm.
Is a charm, lightning bolt, Snapcaster Mage.
Seems pretty good. Either charm is counter unless they pay 2.
2. So it's unlikely that Gareth is going to be dissolving any spirits anytime soon. Deciding to exile Sweltering Sands, I believe? Or Serum Visions?
Probably would have taken the.
He definitely took 2 there. No mana was tapped. I think he just did it to
To have a look.
have a look at his opponent's hand. Unfortunately for Gavin,
Yeah.
that Titan that was on top of his deck, no longer there.
Look, taking the Sweltering Suns. You only had the one of in the deck.
Well, he
But-
took Serum Visions actually.
Oh, sure.
I think that your play there was making sure his opponent shuffled his deck.
I think he just saw all the board wipes now.
I think he also saw the Prime Titan on top of his opponent's deck. Narrowly dodged the bullet there. Playing a second intangible virtue.
Do you flash in the snap? I think you do.
If his opponent attacks, I will flash and snap here if I'm on Gavin's side of the field. Unfortunately for Gareth, his opponent, is now on 8 lands. Which means if he ever gets,
A Valakut.
not a Valakut,
Primeval Titan.
if he ever gets a Scapeshift, he'll sack all his lands, fetch, okay, he's on 9 lands now, so fetch, no, okay, he's on 8 because of the Farseek. He'll sack all his lands, fetch double Valakut 6 mountain, each mountain will deal 6 damage, and that's 6 times 6, which is 36.
Sure.
Gavin just has to keep track of how many mountains are left in his deck. I believe he's playing a total of 13. And it looks like he has 6 on the field.
Thing is, these are going to be very big tokens one day.
If they ever
Resolve.
Gavin unfortunately not really drawing anything. His opponent, however, also running off steam here. Taxed for 2. This is more than likely going to eat the lightning bolt.
It's a tough spot, is he now?
He top deck the cryptic command. Means it's even less likely that Gareth will resolve anything. Especially with Snapcaster in hand. Yeah, I can even see Gavin going about this by bouncing a audio champion, throwing a card.
I mean, he's under no pressure.
His opponent has even declined to attack because Snapcaster killing one of his creatures will reduce the life gain significantly. I think the stop take war is not a situation you really want to get yourself in.
Okay, he's got the path now.
Now, Gavin just taking to, not interested in playing Snapcaster for no value here. Even drawing a card.
He's not going to resolve.
Tax for 2 again. Gavin going down to 12 if he takes this. And now Gavin deciding he's gonna loot.
There's a Scapeshift.
And with that Scapeshift, it's more than likely going to be game. Yet again. Not much Gareth could do about it. Multiply a second game in a row. Not exactly the easiest matchup to win, regardless of mulling or not.
Another Scapeshift.
Well,
there's Gavin just doing the maths, and should we get?
He is on
7, 8.
8 lands.
I don't think he's playing made a land drop this turn. 9.
Don't think he has a land to make.
So 2 value could 7 lands.
On 9 lands. As long as he, so he's deciding how many mountains can he
how much he
possibly
can
sack.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, he's tapping 4. Plays Scapeshift. Fetches more than yeah. Gareth scoops it up. Doesn't feel like making Gavin go through the hassle of doing maths.
There's way too much maths here.
Not the most exciting first round, but we do have a winner at the end of it.
I think Gareth is the best he could.
Multi 5 both games, not exactly
and game 1
pleasant.
Very close.
Yeah, the game 1 could have gone his way. Gavin really needed to just draw something there. And the game 2 though,
unlucky sideboarding as well. I mean, just didn't have the cards for this kind of matchup.
We'll probably see Gavin go further on through the tournament, maybe feature a couple of times more. Gareth's still not out of it. Losing first round doesn't mean he'll be out of contention for top 8. Makes it a bit harder. You must remember that 3 players do have buys for this event. Those are Sean Wells, James Combrink and Josh Barlow. And all 3 players very proficient at the magic they play. We'll see you guys for the next round, hopefully in a couple of minutes.